We're staying with marine conservation, but shifting to the other side of the planet, to the oceans of Melanesia, Indonesia and Southeast Asia, home to the richest coral reefs anywhere. Last week, biologist Naomi Longa of Kimbe Bay, Papua New Guinea, was in London to celebrate her leadership in the Sea Women of Melanesia project and to receive an award from the Whitley Foundation for Nature for their work seeking to protect this marine paradise, with, among other tools, AI. They call the area the Coral Triangle.
Yeah, so Coral Triangle, some people refer to it as the Amazon of the sea. It is the area from the Philippines all the way down to Fiji, with all the countries in the middle, including Papua New Guinea. And that is where you can find the highest biodiversity of marine life in the world.
When you say diverse, I mean, you're talking, thousands of coral species, thousands of different fish and so on that live there?
Yeah, so in the Coral Triangle, there is about 6,000 species of marine life that are found in there. And in Kimbe Bay, there is roughly 173 species of different corals and marine life, like the sperm whale, the orcas, the fish, and different animals that live underwater.
And tell me about your organisation, Sea Women of Melanesia, because you're there sort of trying to help preserve parts of this triangle.
It is a not-for-profit organization based in Papua New Guinea. That organization has got 3 female directors with all female members working within the organization. So it's an all-female organization, and everyone working in the organization is passionate about looking after the coral and helping the communities set up marine reserves for them. And yeah, it is quite a unique organization because there's no other organization or female organization in PNG except the Sea Women of Melanesia. Our role is to empower Indigenous women with the training, skills and resources so that they can take a leadership role in the community to set up marine reserves.
And what sort of work do they do? Or you do, I should say.
So I help manage the regional team, and we lead a team of women out to the reef. We train them to use camera to take photographs of the reef. We also train them to collect fish data and invertebrate data. And then we use those data to talk to the communities and let them know which bits of reefs are useful for them to set up marine reserves. And then, from there, if they want a marine reserve in the community, then we go to the community, do awareness, talk to the local community, and then we get some of the women in the community, ideally 2 women, to take part in our training program. And then we train them so that they can go back and continue to monitor their reefs.
What I've read is that this is incredibly important in terms of economics and food security.
Yeah, absolutely. Our idea of creating marine reserve is we don't want to ask the community to put all their reefs under protection, because then we're going to face this issue of, now that we have all this reef under protection, where are we going to get the fish from? Because we love catching fish and we want fish. So our idea is to only conserve or protect 30% of the reef. And then the 70% that is open for fishing, people can still fish from. But this 30%, it's very important because then it has to be where the spawning ground is. It has to be where there's a lot of corals in there so that this area can supply the other areas open for fishing. But the only thing that we ask community to do is to look after that reef, and they shouldn't be fishing in that reef. They shouldn't be doing any sort of activities within that area, and just let the reef regenerate and produce more fish for the other areas.
What are the threats to the coral reefs in this region? We were talking recently about the mass bleaching events that keep happening around the Australian reefs. Are you troubled by global warming? Is there pollution? Is it fishing? Is it mechanical damage? Are these issues you have to worry about?
There is issue in the reefs of Kimbe. So the main one is overfishing, and the second issue is the runoff from the land. In Kimbe Bay, there's a lot of oil palm plantation around that area as well. And the fertilizers from the land ended up going out into the sea. it caused a lot of algae growing, and there's no chance for coral reef to survive in those areas because there's a lot of algae blocking the sunlight. Yeah, and the algae grow faster than coral reefs. And also with that issue, there is another one, which is the crown of thorns starfish outbreak. So crown of thorns starfish, it is a starfish, but it's got all the little spikes at the back, and it can be very painful when you step on it or when you're in contact with it. And these starfish, they feed on live coral as well. Another issue is the bleaching event. And at the moment, we are still within the warning zone of bleaching in Kimbe. I'm thankful to say that most of the corals that our team have visited lately, there is no major sign of bleaching, and that is very, very good news for us.
You're also using AI. You've joined the AI train to advance your work. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so with the AI, we are partner with the Australian Institute of Marine Science, and so it is a tool we use to upload all the images of the coral reef. It's the top-down image of the reef, and we upload all the images onto the reef cloud system, and then the AI crawls through all the images and spit out the data of how many coral cover or coral percentage, or how many sand, how many different things on the bottom that the picture shows, how many of them are there. And if we are collecting the images from 2 different years, then it can also spit out different percentages, and we can see that there is a decrease in coral cover or there is an increase in coral cover. So yeah, it is quite useful because now we don't have to sit down and go through the image one by one, and it takes a lot of time. Now the AI just spits out the data and it crawls through hundreds of images in like an hour.
Naomi Longa with an inspiring story of conservation, reminding us every effort helps when it comes to preserving a bit more of our remarkable planet.